This is starting to frustrate me. I have 5 challenges outgoing. Think of a Lucy Brief for the tier 1. They need a glow for the 2 months. Appreciate it.
The _glow 555 just subscribed.
Okay. Have I gone chess blind? You mean where I just like miss moves? It's happened quite frequently. Yeah. I've never been to Australia. I want to go to Australia. I want to go to Kangaroo Island. Let's play the Grob. Isn't this supposed to be good for white, or is this the one where there's d4? I don't even remember. It's classic pyramid trick. Let's see what he does. Kangaroo Island is great. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing some kangaroos. Watch out for poisonous sharks. I don't know. After today's issues, are you playing the next St. Louis Rapids? Well, I mean, I'm supposed to be playing the America's Cup in like 1 week. Like, I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm really, yeah.
Kangaroo Island, eh? I hear that place is really hoppin'.
Really hopping. Good joke. Thank you so much to Ben's bro for the 31 months. I mean, I don't know what to say, you guys. I'm okay. Isn't this just losing? Isn't this classic Pyramid of Giza as well as a wooden shield? This is why you play. This is how you play the Grob to win. Winning in 8 moves. This will be a good video for YouTube. Thanks so much to Spud McTatertot for the prime. Thanks so much to Spud McTatertot. I mean, it's just a free pawn. I mean, I'm not sure this is actually just GG's or anything, but this looks absurd to me. I can also just go like Queen G3. D4 is also a move, but okay, what's the move here? Let me figure this out. How do I just win here? E3 seems wrong. Queen D5 doesn't seem right. Knight F3 kind of does look like the right move for some reason. Or bishop E6 also looks decent, but I think I'm just gonna go Knight F3. Goes E5. I mean, if I play bishop D5, is bishop F3. Wait, this actually wait a second. I'll go here and take maybe, and then I have check and bishop E4. This is a little bit iffy. I don't know what knight d4 is. Just a bad move. Being a little bit disrespectful, but my opponent is disrespecting his pieces. Thank you so much to Serenity for the 24. Everything is really good for me here. It's just a matter of what the quickest way to win is. Rook G1 also a good move here. I'm just gonna go here and hit the bishop. Probably gonna go H3 and rook takes G7, activate the pieces. Oh, he's got bishop B4. Oy, oy, oy. I'm still better with bishop D2 because I can still castle, I think. Am I going to the stream awards? No, I'm not going, you guys. I have this tournament coming up that I need to prepare for. I've been traveling way too much lately. It just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't fit in with my schedule, and that's just life. I mean, people can be mad at me about it, but that's how it goes, you know. I try to do it all for better or worse. Let's take the pawn. Can play rook E7 here. And I mean, I've already given my general opinions on the whole thing anyway, so let's go here. I guess I go. Isn't the queen trapped? Did he just trap his Pokemon? He did. His queen is completely stuck. Very poor game for my opponent. He has bishop. No, I mean, his queen is just stuck. I would love to go to TwitchCon, but I can't because TwitchCon, I think TwitchCon in Vegas is like 2 days before the Grand Swiss and Isle of Man. I can't go. Like, I would love to go. I'd love to go to TwitchCon, but it's like 2 days before Isle of Man, and that's my best chance to qualify for the candidates tournament. So I mean, it's pretty unfortunate, but yeah, I can't. Paris is at a bad time too, right? Paris maybe is doable. Actually, Paris, it's possible. I think Paris is July, so maybe I'm 3,200. Yeah, but I've been higher. 3,200 is pretty terrible by my standards. Question here is, how do I want to play this? I guess I'll just put my bishop on E7 maybe. Oh, I missed D5. Ugh. I guess I'll go E5 and bishop C8 and F4 or something. Doesn't look ideal. Okay, I go F4, of course. I mean, I have Queen H3 lurking. Wait a second. I can also just take. I mean, Queen H3 is very scary, I thought. King F8's a move. Knight G4 is also a move. Wait a second. Queen D7 also quite reasonable. No, I think I'm gonna go king f8 though. It's got to be the right move. It's not the right move, but luckily he missed queen d4, which was just like winning. So here, trade. Yeah, he had queen d4, which is actually I think close to winning on the spot, but he missed it. Or rook e7, queen d4. Both were very close to winning. Now at least I have a shot. I'm still worse, but I have it's like the Dumb and Dumber saying, like there's a chance. There's a chance, which is all you can really ask for. Wait, if I take, there's rook e7, so I go here first. Knight b5, I can obviously take. I take and go bishop e5 maybe. I mean, I want to go rook g8 somewhere in here. Takes. Okay, I go c8. Oh, if I take, there's wait, rook c1. Shoot. I misplayed this. Unfortunate. Let's go here. I just have to move fast now. Just move fast and try to survive. No guarantees that I will survive this, but if I move fast, maybe some small chances. If I can activate my rooks, I have some outside chance to survive this maybe. Pawn. It's got 95, which I forgot about too. Shoot. Story of the day. I don't even have a good move here. Yeah, it's just terrible. Now I have to reset and win every game. It's horrible. I have to win 7 in a row. That was horrible. I didn't expect c6 there either. Is it proper to wear a hat during a tournament in Kazakhstan? It's no, it's not. Think about this. I'm gonna play here, maybe knight f3. Of course, I don't know why I didn't play something else first. I'm gonna go here to hit the pawn. Takes. I have double pawns. I'm down a pawn, but I also have scope on the diagonal, so it's not that bad. See what he does here. f6. I mean, rook b1 has to be right to put pressure on this diagonal or this file. a4 looks right to stop b5. Bishop a3 looks right to put pressure on the diagonal. I can play e3 here if I want. I think e3's got to be right to stop knight f4, but now he also can't castle. I have h4, h5 maybe. Bishop f1 was just a much better move, of course, but so be it. But there are issues for black now, because I can also try to play on this g file with like rook g1 and pressure. Of course, I can't draw arrows to save my life, but there is play. Goes a6. Trying to go b5. I feel like there should be something here that I'm missing. I'm gonna go here. Go here. Of course, I'm just playing this horribly again. Question is, do I trade on f6 or do I play something like d4? Is also an interesting move. Actually, it's not a move because my pawn is hanging, but I think I have to do this. I don't want to do this, but I don't really have a choice, unfortunately. Let's attack the bishop. Of course, I missed. Yeah, I missed the pawn is hanging on h4 too. Could have played e4, maybe takes, but I have some g6 trick, I thought. And then e4, and his king is a little bit iffy too here. Wait, I feel like here maybe I'm trying to mate him somehow. His pieces are all a little bit misplaced. 8. I just, oh, he wants rook d2, of course, so I go here. Probably I could have taken the pawn there, probably, but how it goes. Knight g6, or I can play f3 maybe. I think f3 is fine. We're okay. Wait, it's back. Oh, he's got knight f4, which I also just completely overlooked. Oy, oy, oy. The heck was that? So bad. Not playing well. Not playing well at all. But if I get takes, I mean, I get some play here. It's also g6 again. Another pawn push to g6. Does this not just lose for him after takes, or am I insane? Don't I have queen e7? I mean, everything's holding here, and I'm just checking. I think he blundered, which is kind of a gift after who I've played this game. Thank you, a Ukrainian boy. Thank you, a Gargler. Thank you, a gamer noob. Appreciate it. Thank you, rook d7. I think I just takes. I have queen f8, which is brutal. Yeah, queen f8 is just absolutely brutally winning next move, and he still has no checks because everything is covered. I go here, and that's GG. Resigns. Let's keep going. 6 more to win, or 5 more, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna play b6 again. I don't know. He played what, bishop g5, which is just a weird move. Maybe I play e5. I think I'll play h6 first. Shoot, he saw it. Okay. If I play c5. Oh, I can't even play c5. What am I doing? I misplayed this already. Another terrible opening for me. I have to try to somehow, I'm gonna go queen c8. I actually don't know what to do other than try to play for c6. I almost want to just sack an exchange here. That's how bad my position is. This is horrible. But you know, maybe I can just play chess and pretend that something's okay here. I still can't. I just have to play chess, forget about the fact that my position is absolutely horrible, and then just like hope. I get c6. I mean, at least I'm in trouble, but at least now I get the break, which I desperately need here to have any hope of counterplay. I'm gonna go b5, try to really mess this up. See what he does. He can take, he can also take. I trade and trade, and rook a2 is a move, but it's not great. Takes 94. Try rook a5. Probably a bad move, but I don't have anything better. Take. Although now he loses e4, so maybe it's okay. I'll pre-move this in case he does it. He's actually let's take with a pawn, which he doesn't. Okay, wait. So if I take, It was f3. Okay, wait, I feel like I'm close to somehow being in the game here. I'm not in the game, but I'm almost in the game. Like that EA Sports ad, it's in the game. I'm almost in the game, but I'm not quite in the game. King d8 maybe was actually better. Okay, goes there. I take. I have to play e6. Yeah, I think there's a K assassin for the prime. I'm actually okay here. I'm actually okay because the bishop's going to become active, and I'm in the game. Yeah. Yeah, that's EA Sports. It's when you play Madden. It's like, I think they got rid of it, right? They got rid of it, but they used to have it in the games. Like, it's in the game. They always got like, they got one of the players to say EA Sports, it's in the game. Now I activate the fianchetto and I have d5, and this is very bad for my opponent. They actually did get rid of it, right? That's very sad. That's really sad. It's still there. Okay, it goes there. I mean, okay, all roads lead to Rome. It's a question of which road I want to take. I'll take with a rook here, and maybe like rook b8. I can also keep these rooks on the board too. It just depends. But I mean, I have two centralized juicers. If two centralized juicers is not good enough to win, that's on me. So here in king d6, of course. Target the juicer on g3, and if he pushes, then I have bishop f4, which is bad. This should just be winning. Thanks so much to Henry Sugar for the 33. Am I going to play the esports part of the Olympiad? I don't even have any details on that, but I would say it's very unlikely. That's the short answer. Knight c2 is a solid move. I'm gonna check. I guess I'll go here, put pressure on the knight maybe. Oh, let's offer to trade the rooks. Oh, he takes. Wow, I did not expect that. This should be winning. This should be winning with e4 next move. Just take away the oxygen from the horse, and then bishop f2, or just even bishop b6. If he trades, he loses this guy. So I just take. Another win. 5 to go. Thank you so much to Tillerman for the prime. The ID Emperor. Thank you so much to eWarzo and Andrew. Andrew is good. Let's play b3. Simple chess. G2 Sports. That's a little bit different, you guys. Go here. 6 ads is what it is. Andrew Tate. What about him? He's still in jail, right? Let's go knight pd2. Maybe e4, maybe e3. Very slow. He's still in jail. He's still in jail. Yeah. +2 -14 is brutal. Welcome to my world. That's life. Yeah. Let's play a3. Play b4, a4. Tell us about your skincare. I don't have a skincare routine. He has cancer. I mean, okay, whatever, you guys. That's not a topic I want to get into. I will say, however, it's kind of ironic that he talked about how he wanted to be in Romania because, like, the system's like, you know, not as strict or whatever, however you want to put it. And then, like, specifically because he's in Romania is why they can hold him forever, and he can't get, and they haven't charged him with anything. So it's kind of funny, actually, in a way. I'm gonna go e4, e5 here. Like, as I understood it, wasn't that essentially what he was saying? Wasn't it like Romania, like their system, you can bribe and do all these other things, but it's also the exact same reason that, like, they can probably just hold him forever and not charge him with anything. Like, you get what you yeah, it's like yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. They have 120 days. Well, that's 4 months. I mean, I don't know, you guys, whatever. We're here playing chess. I don't want to. Oh, c4 might be just a absurdly bad move by me. It's maybe not that bad, actually, because I can take or trade. Romania's in the EU. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I take the pawn, of course. Takes, and I go knight d4, I guess. Let's go here, hit the pawn on c6. He wants to go knight I thought this hung a pawn. It does hang a pawn, but does it hang more? Knight b4. This looks like the right move. Hopefully it's not a blunder. Knight d3, rook c2. What? Oh, he can actually do this? Oh shoot, what am I doing again? Another mistake for me. What am I doing? So I'll trade and play like rook d1 maybe. Not playing well today. Not playing well. Every game I'm missing something. Like even this game I suspect I'll find a way to win, but it's not what I wanted at all. It was 92, which wait, what? It's another move that I'm confused by. 96, 92. I don't know if this works, but I have queen d6 here maybe. You can't trade because the pawn passes, but there's also an ice skater here. His king is stuck on the back. In fact, actually, queen b6 he gets fossilized. Queen b7 he gets ice skater. Queen c8 he gets forked. Yeah, there's a fossil, an ice skater, and a fork, and I think this is game over. I think it's which that Danny expert for the prime. So here, bishop b4, simple chess. Do I play CSGO? No, I don't, you guys. I mean, I played it when I was a teen very briefly, but no, I don't generally. Bishop g5, this is one of the other lines. Many ways to play this. I'm just gonna play bishop e7. He'll take, we'll trade. C6 is a very old line. Castle. I mean, I can play rook e8 here. I can also go a5 and knight a6, knight c7. Trying to think which order I want to play. Which one do I want to play here? I'm just gonna go knight d7 and we'll go knight f8, knight e6. I can go knight g5 maybe and just trade some knights. As long as he doesn't have some e4, which he doesn't. Or he does of this. Yeah, he does of this. Could sack and take 3 pawns, but I don't really believe in it, so go here, knight e6. Not playing this well at all. Okay, goes e4. I'm gonna play b5, of course, and then I'm gonna go b4. This game's gonna start spinning a little bit out of control. I'm gonna play rook a5 here to hold the pawn maybe. I mean, you can obviously sack, but I just take and drop back. I also have bishop d4 in between. Analyze Andrew's game against Aiden Ross. No thank you, that's okay, maybe another time. Okay, need to come up with a move here. It's very hard to find logical moves. I definitely don't want to take, so I gotta move though. Gotta move. Not queen b8. Go here. It takes. If I can just survive here.
Board detector just subscribed.
I think I'm gonna go to c8. I don't know if it's right, but I feel like the bishop on a8 is just staring at a dead pawn. So when I go this way, I have a lot more scope on this whole diagonal, which makes a lot of sense. Not bishop e7, not knight b5. I've got to come with moves here. I'll play h5. Maybe it stops g4 temporarily because I can always just trade. I also had g5 maybe. Bishop e7 is a move. It's not the move I want to play. So let's go g6. Maybe g5 was actually better, but so be it. You want to go here, of course. And now I think I do have knight b5 though to hit the pawn. Yeah, I think he missed this because with the king on g8 there was always a capture and bishop f7. Excuse me. excuse me. Takes and still a game, but I'm definitely better. He's got rook d2, g1, rook c3. Go here, hit both pawns. I think I should win this game, but we'll see. Go here maybe. I don't even know which square is better. Rook d3 is also fine. I assume I get the third pawn. I'm better. I don't know if it's actually winning. That's the only problem, but I have good chances here to win. Thank you so much, Finitan. Thank you to Border Detector. Thank you so much. I guess I'll go here. Thank you so much to Dean Messenger. Thank you to Bean for the prime. Appreciate it. Thank you so much to Bean. I suspect that I'm winning here. Just the pawns are too weak. I start pushing P with d4, d3. Check, takes, and bishop d5. Classic GG. All right, let's keep going. Ew, yes. Okay, let's keep going. I'm gonna go b3, same thing. Go here. Again, I'll play d3, same thing, and like g3, bishop g2. Castle, trade, simple, or e4, but I'll trade. Go here, queen e2, of course, all very standard so far. Go here, play a3, rook d1. Again, this is exactly what we played it before. a4, b4 looks fine. I can always just go knight f3 next move as well. Okay, c4 is a move, but I'm gonna go knight f3, maybe e4 again. Yeah, let's do the same thing. Trade and okay, e5. I can play a4 here, which is what I'm going to do just to fix the structure this way. And now I have knight d4 later. Go here. And play h4 if I want. He's trying to go knight b4. I'm not worried. I'm just gonna go h4. Maybe I should play. Actually, I think I should play f4 here and just go like king h2 and then knight f3 back maybe, and d4 and c3. Slight drawback to this, which I just realized, which is that he can actually activate the bishop. It'd be slightly problematic. Of course he spots it. I'll trade the bishops anyway and try to play on the king side. Start pushing P over here, because all his pieces are kind of on the wrong side of the board here relative to his king. Like this king is all alone. All these pieces are way off sides. Goes d4, which doesn't look right to me. Doesn't look terribly wrong either. Let's go here, knight e4. Oh, I hung c2, which he missed. I just hung knight takes c2, but whatever, it's okay. I'm gonna play h5 to stop any weirdness. The trade. It's gonna take with the knight or the pawn. Big question. Takes with the knight. Okay, I'll go here and f5 next move. Down Bruce. Bruce. Go f5 here. Maybe rook e1. I have rook f1. I mean, this looks good for me, but it's not trivial. 16 pawns on the board. There were 16 pawns. I like rook e1 because f6 I have e6. And it goes there. I mean, queen e4 looks good. Rook f4 also looks good. I'm gonna go here to attack the queen and then queen g4. Start for the trade. Goes b5, which I don't really like. It's a move, but I don't like it. I'm gonna go here. Just keep the rooks on the right squares. Okay, it goes b4, which to me looks a little bit wrong somehow, because now the rook is active. Go here, target the pawn, keep an eye on the pawn. d4, of course. Bring my king over. Not necessarily winning for me, but you have d5, which just looks like a good move. I go here and I take, and now the rooks are very active. This should be winning for me if I play this correctly. Now I can take with either rook here as well. I think I'm gonna take with this rook. Now I'm gonna take this juicer. Should be winning. Yeah, I mean, I can even just okay, rook b5 looks like the cleanest win. I just take and then take. Goes g6. Obviously I can trade, but I mean, I might just take. Does rook c4 actually just win? I think it does. Takes. Yeah, this just wins. It's just very simple because the pawns are stacked, so you can't do anything. Let's keep going with b6. He's gonna play bishop g5. Ah, he doesn't. Okay, let's go here. Play d5 takes. I just take with the queen, of course. Go here, queen c8, obviously threaten to take and win a pawn. We trade pieces here. It's all looking pretty good. Farm this fool. He's actually kind of farming me because I think I'm losing points. Oh, this might be break even. 7 times 2 is 14 and I lost 14, so I think it's break even. I think I was 31.99 when I started though. What is it? I guess I'll play h5. I don't know if it's right, but I'll do it anyway. Trade and go here. Yeah, it's 31.99, so I'm actually, if I win this game, I'm gaining 1 point. I think there's an uncut piano for the 23 months. Don't like queen e3. Because now his king can't castle. Okay, knight f5 is a pretty obvious move. Go here, of course. I don't like what my opponent's doing. I don't like what Rustamov is doing at all here. So he can't castle. His queen is a little bit weird here. It's a little bit stuck. Like the queen can't really go anywhere because the knight dominates the queen. I mean, even this looks very wrong. I just take and go knight b4. Yeah, I have knight b4 due to the pin. And now this is very, very problematic. There are forkaroos all over the board. I mean, how does he stop this? He's stopped 2 forks at the same time. And he can't castle. If you castle, he'd be winning, but that you can't castle through a check. 1 point, what a deal. I agree. Thank you so much. How does this even work for the 6 months? Thank you so much. How does this even work? Appreciate it. I mean, I think he can move the king, but then he gets forked a different way. I mean, if I get this, he gets forked every which way. So, I mean, this is very dangerous for white. My record against him is remarkable. What is my record? I've won 166 games. I've drawn 14. I've lost 6. It's not bad. 166 wins and 4 draws. So it's 166 plus 7. 173 out of 186. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Can't complain. Yeah, can't complain. Not bad. Yeah, it happens, you guys. He goes rook h3, which hangs this. I mean, the thing is, do I go knight c2 because he's trying to go rook f3? I mean, I can also just go knight d3, which... Wait a second. Wait a second. I need to think. If I take the rook, he goes rook f3. I can also just go rook c8, though. Rook c8 and rook c7. Wait a second. Let's think. I've got so much time here that the last thing I want to do is fudge this up. I kind of like rook c8, though, because I can still... If he goes rook f3, I flick the check. And I'm still threatening. Okay, I have this check or this check. But I think now I just check. And the reason I do this is because now he can't go rook c1 and take the lane. So if you go back to this position, if I go check... Let me go back to show you guys because I have so much time. Here takes. He has rook c1 and then rook c7 with the kebab, and I'm in trouble. But here, basically, now when I take, there's no lane for the rook to go to, so it's just over. I mean, everything's winning here, so I just, as long as I don't fudge it up. Let's go bishop e7. Rook c2 is also worth mentioning. Close off for the queen trade. Let's go here, bring the rooks into the party. I'm going to create the kebab in a second. Or no, let's just go here. We take away all the ideas. He has no squares to go to. And now I just stack the 2 towers and it's just all over. cut him off at the pass, no squares to go to, rook holds at all, and of course I have a kebab. He'll probably just run out of time or resign here. B3, let's go here, create the classic kebab. Go here, offer the trade of these rooks. Check, and there should be a mate. There we go. All right, you guys, big dub. We got a win, and we push our rating back to 3,200. Now, of course, it is 4 o'clock again, you guys, so you know what that means. I'm gonna take a short break before the second Title Tuesday, which starts in 1 hour. So I'm gonna take a short break. We'll come right back, and we'll keep rocking and rolling, and we'll go from there. So let's move it along. Garbage. Oh, sorry, I didn't switch the scene. Sorry. So yeah, so I'm putting it in the legit category right here, you guys. Garbage. Oh, sorry, I didn't switch the scene.
Some absolute abomination of a chess coach taught this to his students. And at nationals, kindergarten nationals, a school prepared the following variation: E5. White didn't know that.
I know what you're gonna say, but go ahead. I
think I've told you the story,
go ahead,
right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and White got scared and did this and lost. So in the next game, they prepared and they said, "Hey, if that happens, take the pawn." Great. You know what? And then, well, Hikaru knows, but in this position, the kindergarten trainer prepared this: check, G3, and the absolutely savage move, Bishop E7. And the kid with the white pieces took the queen and got mated anyway. The same kid!
So this is the accelerated dragon. Black brings the knight out and pushes the pawn and moves the bishop here. So unlike when we were doing it before, we're doing this as a beginner level opening. So what do you think, Levy?
Oh man, for beginners, it's not something that I would necessarily recommend. The thing is also, if you're talking about from the white or black perspective, I don't know if I can give it a legit title. Maybe we keep it in more of a really bro. It's definitely not something that's tricks only, but it's I don't know, and dare I say, might even just be too complicated in and of itself to put in the garbage category, but it's got to be really bro for me. For beginners, the accelerated dragon is just a little bit too complex. Folks shouldn't be thinking about fianchetto and lack of space in the center, but
yeah. So I mean, I guess for me, what I would say is that I kind of agree. I don't know, like I kind of agree. I think it's got to go in I think it goes in. I don't know if it's garbage. Where do I put it? This is actually hard. I think I put it in really bro. I think there are too many issues with it objectively to place it anywhere else. So that's why I put it in really bro. Because to me, I can't really think of anywhere else to put it. So next up we have the advanced Caro-Kann. So the advanced Caro-Kann, of course, is pawn to e4, pawn to c6, d4, d5, and pawn to e5 here.
Swinny G just took $5
well, look,
out of
if you're a beginner and you want to play e5, I recommend it. If you're a new player, two pawns in the center is not too complicated to follow. And then if you get a person playing d5, I think e5 is the way to go. It's as long as you follow it up with natural space-taking moves. So knight f3, bishop e2, bishop d3, f4 maybe, all these different...
Oh, I was going to say on bishop f5, just play knight c3, g4, knight g2.
Okay. Yeah, there's also this tricky one where you try to trap the bishop, and this one. Right. So something like h4, because you can win like this. So there are some tricks. I think it's quite good. I think at this level, it's either unbreakable, and it does have the potential to be legendary, but you need to know what to do against this. You need to know that you can't just play c3 and knight f3. Like, you should take, like, you need to learn that.
Sorry. Yeah, so you're saying you need to know what to do against pawn to c5, because you can take the pawn on c5, right?
Yeah, because some people don't. They like play like this. And...
Right. No, I totally agree. Yeah, I think for me, I would rank it pretty highly, actually. I think I would rank it I don't know if it's legendary. It's close. I think it's unbreakable. I think it's very high up. I don't want to say it's legendary because it's good, but I think it's not quite to that level. So I would say it's unbreakable.
For the next two, considering we have the entire batch there.
Oh right, we do have it. Yeah, I would say advanced with Knight C3, G4, Knight G2. I would put it up in unbreakable. And then the advanced car regular. I'm just gonna put these two down here in garbage. And I'll leave the advanced car con Knight C3, G4, Knight G2, and unbreakable. How's that? I think that's reasonable, right?
So the regular advanced Caro is where?
It's in garbage.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's systematic. I don't think the ideas where you try to develop normally with like bishop e2 and so forth really make a lot of sense personally. Like, I mean, I can understand it, like bishop f5 playing knight f3, e6, bishop e2, but a lot of the ideas involving like knight d2, knight b3, and c3, they don't feel like I don't know, it doesn't feel thematic. It doesn't feel like something where you have a straightforward plan.
Yeah, that's fair. If you're gonna play advanced Caro with h4, it's definitely great because it's pretty straightforward. You just try to take as much space as possible. But yeah, I agree. Like all these meta ideas with a4, a5, etc., not good for beginners.
Right. So I think that's why those two specifically, they belong down here in the garbage bin specifically. Because like h4 is not practical, regular is not practical. h4 is playable, of course. But I mean, but yeah, all right, let's keep going. So next up we have the advanced French, which is a very exciting opening. This is e4, e6, d4, d5, pawn to e5. So what do you think, Levy?
Well, I guess if we're talking, white has the option to push this pawn here, so it's probably from white's perspective. At a beginner level, again, I actually like this. Because if black isn't super familiar with how to take advantage of all these like different weaknesses that white can have on the queen side with c5, knight c6, queen b6, if you play just solid c3, knight c3 f4, or even knight c3, knight e2, like there's different setups where you can like consolidate your center. I'm a pretty big fan. I don't know. I would probably put it in legit. I mean, I don't know about unbreakable because if black knows what they're doing, then well. You're not gonna...
It's tough. I mean, I hinge on both. I grew up playing the advanced French as white pretty much from this time I started until I was about, I think until the time I was about 2300 maybe, or 2200. I only played the advanced French. I don't think it's legendary, but I think it's, I don't actually, you know what, I think it is legendary. I think it's by far and away the best setup as a beginner. So I'm trying to think, what are the other setups you can do? You can play this Haraj, which is way too complicated. Because you try to build a pawn chain anyway. You can play knight c3, but the Winnow is just too impractical, I think. So I'm going to put it as legendary because I think it's a very thematic setup, and you can follow it straight through. So I think for me, it goes in legendary.
Okay.
Because I just think it's the best setup for white because you learn the basics of the pawn chain. And I feel like you learn how to develop, but it can be risky too. So I would say playing the advanced, I think it is legendary for me.
Well, then this next one's going to be a fun one too. The Alpin Sicilian.
Yeah. So again, the Alpin Sicilian, for those of you guys, is the Sicilian defense, e4, pawn to c5, and white plays pawn to c3 on move 2. Yeah, what do you think? Straightforward
idea of trying to take 2 pawns in the center. Well, look, if you know what you're doing and you know the lines where black either has to bring a queen out early with something like this, or, or has to play like this, I think for beginners, these are very non-traditional positions. And so if a person playing with the black pieces just plays natural moves and you take the center like this, very, very legitimate weapon. Now, the problem is that if black does know what they're doing at a more intermediate level, you'll play a lot of positions with an isolated pawn, and that's where I can't really recommend it at a legendary level, but definitely unbreakable or very high legit. I think it's quite good for beginners to just play c3 and put a second pawn in the center.
I don't really disagree. I actually agree. I think it goes like right up near the top of legit. I think it's just a very solid, very, very good approach. And I don't know if it belongs on Breakable. I think it totally belongs in legit though.
All right,
So
it'll take the top legit spot.
Okay, so next up we have the Aliekin's defense, which is pawn to e4, knight to f6, which I assume, since this is an opening that black chooses, we should be thinking about it from the black perspective. So,
yep.
What do you think?
Oh man, it was garbage before. I mean, I might as well make it garbage again. You know, when you're a beginner, you're kind of hoping your opponent just plays knight f3 here and you win this pawn. That's because people are pre-moving in the opening, you know. But other than that, for beginners, do not recommend not having a pawn in the center, because if you don't know what you're doing, you can, I mean, very natural moves here by white, even knight f3, bishop c4, you can land in a lot of trouble. So I don't know, Hikaru, it's either tricks only or it belongs in the same dumpster bin as last time.
Yeah, I agree. I don't even need to think. Clearly garbage. Not even a question. The lack of getting pawns in the center as a beginner, it's not what you want to do. You want to put pawns in the center so the piece play is very straightforward. The ideas in the Aliekin's defense are very complicated, and even for grandmasters, you can end up in a lot of trouble very quickly if you don't know what you're doing. So I totally agree. It's absolute garbage. So next up we have the Benko Gambit, which as we know is named after the late Paul Benko, the American-Hungarian grandmaster, which goes d4, knight f6, c4, c5, pawn to d5, pawn to b5, c takes b5, and black plays pawn to a6, gambiting a pawn, and then eventually fianchettoing the bishop and playing for a lot of activity on the open a and b files down the road. So, Levy.
Garbage. At this level, garbage. That's all I have to say. Too theoretical, relies way too much on a very precise set of moves, which you will not be getting up until you're maybe 1800, when people actually start using d4, c4 in their prep. Very good opening if both players are up to the task. But I mean, like I said, if all you know is the Benko and this happens, what are you gonna play? You're gonna play b5 and like no. So,
no. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's very conclusive. I really don't disagree. I think it's garbage or I think it's garbage. It's definitely
not, yeah.
Where is it? It's I think it's in the middle of the garbage pile. So next up we have the Benoni. Again, very similar opening: d4, knight f6, c4, c5, d5, e6, knight c3, pawn takes d6, e4. So you reach the setup where black has pawns on d6 and c5, and white has pawns on e4 and d5.
Here's what I'll say about this. If your opening repertoire against d4 and c4 and all this stuff is to go knight f6 followed by c5, if we really think about it, you can get it almost any time, right? Like,
true.
Even against the London, if you know what you're doing, and then you can actually use that as a pretty good London antidote, because you can play positions like this where you play, you know, that surprises a lot of London players. This is definitely not garbage, but it's, in my opinion, it has a little bit more merit, but it's still a little bit too, I mean, you should focus on center pawns. So e6, d5, you should really not look too much for c5, because the chance that you get a Benoni main line before you're 1500, extremely low. So I'll let you make the call, but...
Yeah, and just to be clear, those of you who are watching, when we're talking about these openings, before we're talking at a grandmaster level, that sort of perspective as a serious professional, as a beginner, the whole thought process, all these openings is completely different. So, yeah, in terms of the Benoni, I think it goes in tricks only, but I think it goes at the very top.
Okay. Yeah, it's tricky, I guess. You know, dark square diagonal, bishop on g7. There is some merit.
I don't think it's like I don't think it falls in really bro. I would say it should be in the I think it should be in that tier. That seems like the right tier, because it is tricks. So next up we have the Berlin defense, which of course is e4, e5, or sorry, not e6, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, knight to f6. So Levy, thoughts?
Well, I like it. But here's the thing: you're not going to get a Berlin endgame at this level. I'll tell you why I like it. I mean, I like it because you're just developing to the center, right? And I mean, there is a chance that something like this happens. You know, you get this kind of thing. So I don't necessarily recommend studying Deep Rui Lopez if you're like 800, but
Right.
I do recommend pieces in the center and a pawn in the center. So it's not legendary at this level, but it's up there. I mean, is the Berlin taking on e4?
Well, I mean, I don't know where I rank because I think it's very risky as a beginner. I feel like there's so many dangers. Like you could take and forget, take with a B pawn and lose the pawn. Like takes knight e4, queen e2. Like dc6. Let's say white even castles. Like I think it's very intuitive. Just take the pawn, allowing rook e1, and then blacks. I mean, okay, at the GM level it's different, but like sort of as a beginner, I think it's very risky to play this.
Okay, so if we're talking about the early pawn grab on e4, then yeah, it could be.
Well, I'm just saying, can you really prepare someone to play this? Like, what would you play after castles? If you're a beginner or you're relatively new to the game, what would you play in this position after a castle and move 5?
No, I would tell what I tell folks all the time in e4 e5 is like if a piece hasn't moved, get it out, kind of a thing. But if you don't know that and all your prep is to take the e4 pawn, yeah, you're gonna lose. You're just gonna lose. So it's gonna be very bad.
Because I feel like the concepts are very deep. You have to use the 2 bishops. It does to me. I don't know. I don't know. I actually don't think it's a good opening because I think there are too many chances to make mistakes.
Okay.
Like I actually think it's very risky. I think it goes in really, bro. In 1 second. Sorry, my phone is ringing. Give me 1 second.
All right.
Sorry. Hello? Yeah, you can let them through. Thank you. Bye. Hello? Are we here?
Yeah, that was fast.
That was just my sushi. All right. Okay, so yeah, I think for me it goes in the really bro category because like I feel like it's so risky. It just feels too risky as a beginner, honestly. So it just feels too risky.
Let's do it.
All right, so next up we have the birds opening. So the birds opening, as we know, is pawn to f4 on move 1.
Correct.
Thoughts?
Get this shit off my screen.
Okay.
I want to tell you a funny story real quick. Some absolute abomination of a chess coach taught this to his students. And at nationals, kindergarten nationals, a school prepared the following variation: e5. White didn't know that.
I know what you're gonna say, but go ahead. I
think I've told you this story, right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and White got scared and did this and lost. So in the next game, they prepared and they said, "Hey, if that happens, take the pawn." Great. You know what? And then, well, Hikaru knows, but in this position, the kindergarten trainer prepared this: check, g3, and the absolutely savage move, bishop e7. And the kid with the white pieces took the queen and got mated anyway. The same kid! So here's what I'm telling you. Do not weaken your king as a beginner. Bad things are going to happen. And that's that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Not even a question. Definitely garbage. I think it might be actually like the worst of the worst for a beginner. Give me 1 second. I got to get my food, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's an absolute disaster of an opening. Was I playing the kid? No, it was not me. Come on. I also have to say that at a scholastic level, to prepare, adult titled player coaches preparing kids like that's just it's also an ethical question because it's sort of like, what are you teaching these kids, right? So,
yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think in general, king safety really does matter a lot if you're a beginner. So playing stuff that doesn't sort of that weakens your king at the start is very risky and not the best idea. That's definitely for sure. Oh, I have to show food apparently.
Let's do it.
Can you guys see it? There, I think that's.
Oh, that looks aesthetic.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah, I got some unagi. Where's the steak? I couldn't order. Outback Steakhouse wasn't open. Sorry, you guys. All right. Okay. Now chat's gonna go insane. Next up, of course, is Le Bon Cloud. As you know, very special opening, very near and dear to many of our hearts. So it goes E4, say black plays pawn to B6, and you go king to E2. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, look, at the Grandmaster level, this is legendary, but if we're actually trying to be instructive, yeah, don't do this. But that's all I really have to say.
Don't
but
do this. Okay.
Yeah, feel free to disagree with me, but
okay, I agree right off. I think for a beginner, it's a very bad opening. Goes at the absolute bottom.
Yes, we watched the Bong Cloud speedruns, potentially with our bongs and our clouds, but do not actually play it. Okay, it's too complex. Yes, that's really the problem. It's not that it's bad; it's just too complicated. So just wait until you're GM, then start playing King E2.
Agreed. Agreed. Okay, so next up we have the
You put it in garbage?
Yeah, I put it in the garbage.
Man, a lot of garbage.
Yeah, so next up we have the Budapest Gambit, which is D4, knight to F6, pawn to C4, pawn to E5. White grabs and black move the knight to E4, G4. Thoughts, Levy?
I don't hate it, you know. I feel like a gambit repertoire actually does make chess a lot of fun. You will get it a lot and it will throw people off. But there's still some issues with this because gambit players don't like their regular opening principles take a step back when all they learn is gambit. So probably a tricks only opening. But you can win some very nice games. Gambits are pretty fun, especially when you're starting out.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think it definitely is. It's a reasonable try, but I think it's risky because white can also play knight f3 to stop it on move 2.
Right.
So yeah, I think for me, it's got to go at the top of tricks only.
Yes.
I don't know. Do you think it goes higher?
No, I think it's tricks. So it's got to be higher than Benoni though. I don't know.
Right. So okay, good. So next up we have the Karo Khan, which, as you guys know, is pawn to E4. Pawn to C6. So now we're looking at it from the black perspective, not the white perspective. Now you, of course, are an expert on this opening, Levy. So what are your thoughts?
I like it for beginners. As I've said, I think you can learn the Karo Khan in 10 minutes or less, and you can just find the very simple approach. You either put that pawn on D5 and you take the pawn when it stays there. We also saw this get taught. Well, let me finish my first sentence. You can also, just play a simple exchange variation. Your biggest nemesis could be the advanced if you don't know how to play this, but there's this C5, and if you know how to play it, that's all you need to learn. We saw this get taught to PogChamps participants, Hikaru, so it's got to be a legendary beginner's opening or unbreakable.
Yeah, I would say I tend to agree. I think actually for beginners, I think for beginners, it's got to be in the, I think it's legendary. I think it's just one of the best openings you can play as a beginner. I can't think of a better opening because it's just straightforward. You play like generally the same idea. So I think it has to be at the top. Definitely a legendary opening and at the beginner level.
Also, I think when you play on the light squares as a beginner with the black pieces, you actually, I mean, this is going to sound funny, but you cut out a lot of the crap. Like you cut out a lot of these bishop c4, queen h5, barbaric mates. Because I'm sure that beginners who are watching get hit with these queen, sorties, right? So
right, sorties? This is true. Yeah, I think just the fact that you put the pawns on c6 and d5 at the very start certainly prevents a lot of these trick ideas. So yeah, I agree. I think certainly the Karo Khan, it's definitely a great opening. It deserves its status as a legendary opening. So next up we have the Catalan, which is d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, pawn to d5, and pawn to g3. Thoughts, Levy?
Okay, so here's the thing. Much like the Berlin, you're not going to get... You will not be able to fully reap what you sow here. You will not get the different ideas that the super GMs employ. However, it is a very solid setup. It really is. And it is unbreakable at the beginner level. And it's, the only question is, do you know what to do when they take your pawn on c4? That's it. Do you know how to deal with this? And do you know how to punish them? Do you know how to use this diagonal? It's a little too advanced, but it's so solid that I don't hate it. So,
well, I'm going to take a different tack. I'm going to say that in terms of the Catalan, I think it's okay, but I actually don't like it because I think there's another. Is the other opening on this list still? Let me look. Let's see. Is it? Yeah, there's another opening that's on this list that I like a lot more. So while I do like the Catalan as a setup, there's, I think, a much better setup involving this D3 and C4, or sorry, non-D4, so you know what I'm going to say, that's on this list that I would prefer. So I would say Catalan, I think it goes at the top of really, bro. I just don't think it's a beginner opening.
Okay.
So I think that's where I would put it, because I think there's another setup involving Knight F3 and G3 and so forth that we will catch up with later on that is much better.
All right, close Sicilian.
Right. So yeah, the close Sicilian is a whole different bag altogether. So it's E4, C5, Knight C3. Let's say Black was Knight 6, and you play G3 with Bishop G2, Knight E2, and Pawn D3. So Levy, thoughts?
I like it. I like it a lot. I think at the beginner level, it's another. It's a hey. I taught it to box. So I have taught this to other folks as well. A good way of dealing with the Sicilian defense, which a lot of people play because it's the most popular opening probably. So unbreakable or legit for sure. I don't know if it gets legendary status, but definitely the top. Definitely a top opening.
Yeah, I think in terms of where I would rank it, it ranks high just because it's a setup. Does it rank higher than legit?
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I want to put it at the top of legit or in Unbreakable somewhere, but it doesn't feel like it's open enough for me to put it in Unbreakable, so I'm going to put it at the very top of legit. It's definitely not legendary for me, but I think it's at the top of legit.
Sure. And yeah, I look, it's hard to put a rating number on this, right? Because we want to say beginner is sub 1200, but if you're 1223, like you could still benefit from this. So it's not like, oh, under 1200, I can't watch this. So
right. Yeah, so I don't know. All right, so next up we have the Danish Gambit, which is E4, E5, pawn to D4, pawn takes pawn, pawn to C3. So, thoughts, Levy?
I love it. I love it. This could be, I've taught this to students, I've taught this to adults, kids alike, and I've taught, this one as well.
Of course, obviously.
And they win in less than 10 moves. Now, at the same time, look, this is the one drawback. Cheap opening tricks where you get quick leads in development, chess enthusiasts can say that it's not the right way to learn chess because you're not learning, how to convert in the middle game concept. It's just quick advantage from the opening, big attack. But chess also has to be fun. It's a competitive game at the end of the day. So it's not an unbreakable opening, but at the beginner level, it is. People don't know what to do against it. It's scary. So I vote unbreakable.
As someone who has had an affinity for the Gambits for a long time and really likes the opening, I think it's better than that. I think it goes right up here. I think it goes towards the bottom of legendary. I think it's a legendary opening.
I thought, Hikaru, you were going to say, as a person who's had an affinity for Gambits, I vote this as garbage.
But if I like Gambits, why would I say it's garbage?
I just thought it was like where the humor was heading, but you were being very, very serious. So legendary it is. You guys are witnessing history. Should we teach chat how to defend against it?
No, of course not.
Okay,
but I had a discussion. One of my mods, actually, I remember when I was at he was living with my trainer at the time, maybe like 5-6 years ago. We had some, or maybe it's longer ago than that. We had some big discussion about this. There was some line. It was a D5 takes, and I think we had some long, or it's something like takes, knight f6, takes, queen d8, bishop b4, queen d2, bishop d2, knight d2, rook e8, f3. And we had some long discussion, I think, about this. Oh, sorry. I was on the wrong scene. Sorry. Let me go back then. We had some long discussion on this line with takes, d5 takes, knight f6, bishop f7, king f7, queen d8, bishop b4 with the fossil on the king and the rook, queen d2, bishop d2, knight d2, rook e8, f3. And we had this long discussion about this variation and whether it's this endgame is good for white or not good for white. And I wasn't sure what the conclusion was, but because we had this discussion about this this endgame, I actually played it in a game, and I lost very badly. I think it was against Ibrahimov quite a few years back. So I love the gambit. I think it's great, but I do think there are drawbacks as players get better and better.
Yes, exactly. They're gonna know what to do. At the same time, if somebody's playing e4 and then responding e5, you know.
Well, then you begin to wonder is e4, e5 even the best reply for black?
I don't think so actually. But so I will teach that potentially here and there in the PogChamps, but I will recommend that folks learn more like King's Indian, Karakan. But for the absolute beginners, e4, e5 is tricky because you gotta really defend early on if someone knows what they're doing.
Right, I agree. Okay, all right. So let's move on then. So the next opening is the Dragdorf. Interesting. So this is an opening we did not look at before. This is e4, c5, knight to f3, pawn d6, pawn d4 takes, knight takes, knight f6, knight c3, pawn to g6. White normal will go bishop e3, and now instead of playing the normal dragon with bishop g7, black plays a6. So you try basically to play the Najdorf, but then you also try to play the dragon by fianchettoing your bishop. So it's a mix of the Najdorf and the dragon, hence the name, the Dragdorf. Thoughts?
I'm actually going to go to you on this. What are your thoughts for beginners?
This is tough. I think it's too much to remember. I think it's too many complicated ideas like knight c6 or knight d7 with b5. I mean, like, you have to know the ideas of both the dragon, but you also have to know the ideas of the Najdorf. I think it's too much. I don't think it's garbage because I think you can probably play it, but I would say that in general, for me, it would be I think it goes in sort of the bottom of really bro. I think it's just a little bit too complicated. I think it's too complicated. It
is way too complicated. Even we've seen GMs not even handle these positions correctly. So
I don't think it's garbage because I think for beginners you can teach it in a way that they will be able to understand some of it. So yes. I don't think it's garbage, but I think it's in that, like, really bro, really you're gonna play that as your defense when there's so many better options. So that's where I would rank it, sort of the bottom of really bro. So next up we have the Dutch defense, which is pawn to d4 on move 1 and pawn to f5. So what do you think of this levy, since it's black's replying after white's first move?
Right. I actually don't hate this as much. I don't hate it as much. I'll tell you why. Because somehow all these responses where you can play like aggressive gambits just don't get played. Because people who play d4, they play London, they play knight f3. From what I've seen in teaching beginners, in teaching intermediate players, the Dutch defense, especially Leningrad, when you just kind of fianchetto, can be very good. It actually can be very good. It's sort of funny, but when you have the white pieces on the first move, weakening your king like that, it's a little more dangerous because black actually can go for this e5. So I rate it as legit, or yeah, let's go with legit. Do you think that we have to also put it in the same category as the bird's opening?
No, but I mean, the reason that it's weird to me is because I grew up playing e4. Okay, so e4 was what I played. So I didn't really play d4, and then around, like, when I was 23, 2400, I decided to not switch, but I started playing d4 too. And until probably I got to about 2650-ish, the only line that I knew against it was e4, pawn takes pawn, knight c3, knight f6, bishop g5.
Yep, this is what I play against it too.
Right, and my opinion is that most people who are not relatively strong players, unless they're really strong, they're not going to know that knight c6 is the best move. And I feel like if you play any move except knight c6, you're actually going to end up significantly worse. So to me, I don't know where it ranks. I feel like all these gambits like this, knight c3, or even pawn to f3 are quite dangerous. So it's hard for me to judge. This is kind of the issue.
Yes, so if we know that this option exists, that would be very dangerous. But, like, okay, from experience, I've probably seen these kinds of aggressive gambits in less than 5% of games.
Huh? Really? So they don't teach kids the way they used to, is what you're saying?
Yeah, they don't teach kids or intermediate players. So you know, older players potentially. So what do we do?
I guess I'll put it in. I don't even know where it goes. I have no idea. It's definitely not garbage. It's definitely not tricks only. So I'm just debating between like really bro and legit. Is it legit or not? I mean, based on the setups, like, because you can play Leningrad, you can also play Stonewall. I think I'll put it at the bottom of legit. I think it goes in legit. So that to me seems like a reasonable spot. So, all right, next up we have the English, right?
Yes.
So I don't know why, but for some reason, let me go back. For some reason, our graphic, the English, has a picture of Samuel L. Jackson instead of the Union Jack. I'm not really sure why, but anyway, it is what it is.
That's from movie, and then is his character named? I don't know.
Oh, English, do you speak it? Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it.
Oh, the famous line, English mother quacker, do you speak it? Yes. Actually,
yeah.
Wait, can we swear now and then they'll just edit it out? Okay.
I don't think so. Union Jackson, right, exactly, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, of course. I forgot, obviously. And no, we cannot. So, the English opening pawn to c4, well, what do you think, Levy?
I kind of think Jake is watching. Oh man.
Oh, is that one of your students who you told to play this?
No, do you remember the sub battles? He played c4, total pandemonium broke loose. I told him to start playing e4. Look, c4 is good. If you play c4 with g3 bishop g2, it's fine. It's all fine. The 4 knights with the with the 2 knights coming out, it's all good. But the truth of the matter is, it's a little too mysterious. I mean, you know what I mean? Are you really gonna play like rook b1, b4, b5? Like, come on. So it's legit, but for me, it doesn't get any more than that.
Yeah, I actually have nothing more to add. I completely agree. I think you can play it, but I feel like they're better setups. You want to play pawn g3, bishop g2, and bring the knight out. There are a couple other setups that I think are much better, like the closed Sicilian, or even one of the openings that's coming up later that I think I'm going to put in a pretty highly ranked tier. So for me, I think it goes in legit, but it's kind of at the bottom. Yeah.
You know, I might even just say it goes in really, bro, because I feel like beginners, when they get hit with c4, they actually audibly just exhale. They just
Oh, so, maybe. Yeah, actually, you know what? I think you're right. I think actually you're right. It probably goes at the top of really, bro.
Just demoted it.
Yeah. Okay, so next up we have the England gambit, which I believe is what? Is it d4 e5?
Yes.
d5 d6 takes bishop d6. So black gambit's the 2 central pawns.
No.
No.
So Hikaru, let me help you rummage through the garbage here. This opening actually for beginners is unbreakable or legendary. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But it is d4 e5 d5 d6, right?
No, it's not d6. So there's this line. I had a student lose like this in 9 moves at the state championship.
Oh, it's knight c6.
Yes, knight f3, queen e7, bishop f4, queen b4 check. Yes, bishop d2, queen here, and then now white has to play knight c3 because if you go here, you get hit with bishop b4 with the pin, and sometimes white goes queen d2.
Right, yeah.
And oh my, checkmate on move 8.
Yes.
Checkmate on move 8. GG, yo.
Right. So stronger players play d6, but you're right. Knight c6 is the more appropriate way of playing it. I agree.
Yeah. So listen, what I always taught my students here, I nicknamed this for my students who played London. I just call it London poison because you can't play bishop f4 here. I'm like, just don't do it. It's the one thing. Just put your knights out. You'll be fine. However, first time witnesses of this opening with the white pieces almost always do something ridiculous and get a terrible position.
That is true, so, yeah.
For that reason, let's put it in legit. I vote legit. You can vote otherwise.
Where do you think it goes in legit? I think it actually goes really high. I think it's just really, I don't know.
Here's the thing. I think that you can win a lot of games with it, but once you get to a point, it'll never work again, and then that's when you either quit chess or learn a new opening. So
that is true. Yeah, so I think, okay, I'll put it in the middle then. I think it goes in the middle. Okay, so next up we have the Evans Gambit, which again, more gambits, is pawn to e4, pawn e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, and now pawn to b4. And usually black will take, white goes c3 and plays for castles and d4 right away to attack in the center. So what do you think, Levy?
I love it. I love this opening. I think any gambit in traditional theory, like the same as the Danish, I think this one is fantastic. Probably unbreakable or legend. I mean, the thing is, it's also not that bad. Like, I mean, are people really going to know the theory? So, and even if they do, white is fine. So, I like it a lot. Somewhere at the top.
I think Evans Gambit. It's weird to have both these up there, but I think Evans Gambit is legendary. I mean, it's how legendary is it? I think it's really legendary.
I mean, look at the
I think it's the OG for the moment. I think it's just that legendary.
Wow.
I just think it really is that legendary. Because if you try to decline it, it doesn't really work very well if you decline it. Like, you can't really decline it. And there are just so many ways to lose. Oh, is this supposed to be Antonio's favorite opening?
Pet line.
Oh, I didn't know if it is. But anyway, yeah, I think it's completely legit. I think it belongs at the very top. For sure. Even at the Grandmaster level, you can play it. It's not considered great, but it's not losing. So the fact that you can even play it at the Grandmaster level, and that's like when people really know the theory and it doesn't lose, it's yeah, it's definitely legendary, no doubt.
Dude, did you know that Alpha Zero plays this opening?
Not shocking. I mean, it leads to, I mean, it's probably just a draw, but yes, again, it's a gambit, but it's always doing well. So for me, I think it goes at the top. All right, you guys, so we are going to be doing an intermediate level tier maker. We're going to be looking at openings for players, probably I would say roughly between the range of like 1200 to 1800, maybe in that range, maybe give or take a little bit lower than that, but I feel like in general terms this is probably the level that I would say that's intermediate. What do you think, Levy?
Yeah, I've been getting this question a lot, and I tend to agree. I mean, you can benefit from this if you're 1100. You can benefit from this if you're slightly higher than 1800, regardless of what chess website you play on or whether you play over the board chess primarily. But we're going to try to combine just basic setups with some theory, actually, not just playing things that you kind of memorize, but theoretical openings as well. We have a few additions. We also have one blunder on our tier list. I think we have both the orangutan and the Polish, which is the exact same thing. So we'll decide what to do with that. But the very first one on our list, Hikaru, is already brand new. Two Knights Tango. You know what this is, right?
Yeah.
I'm not insulting. I'm just saying it's like a stupid name. So like maybe I don't know. You know like the official name or something. Is it officially called Two Knights Tango?
Yeah, it is. And actually in 2005, I was playing it a lot. So like in 2004, 2005, I took up the Two Knights Tango and I played it in many different games. And unfortunately, it's an opening that I do not have very fond memories of because I did play it in an event. Let me pop up the board as well. Let me flip. So I did play it in an event as well. So you guys who are wondering what the Two Knights Tango is, it is an opening for black. It was d4, knight f6, c4, knight to c6. So this is the Two Knights Tango. And I played this. There was an event in 2008, I believe it was, or maybe it was 2009, called the National Open in Las Vegas. And prior to this event, I had actually broken the rating of 2,700 for the first time. And I played it in that tournament, and I lost this game to David Pruis, who some of you may or may not know. He does a lot of commentary for chess.com. So I played the Two Knights Tango against him. I lost this game, and with by losing that game in this event, it did cost me the 2700 level ranking. So not thrilled by it. By the way, thank you to RiseX for the 10 gifted as well. You are amazing. Thank you so much once again.
Well, bad memories aside, I don't hate this opening if Black knows what they're doing. The whole reason it's called the Tango is that if D5, you shuffle the knight around this way, and then something that might happen is you put like your dark squared pawn in the center, you play bishop c5, and you can get actually a really nice position. Like I sometimes mess around with this in blitz. The problem really rests in the fact that, I mean, in my opinion, is if white plays knight f3, like you can't play knight c. I mean, you can't do it because now you don't have, that doesn't work. So
Right.
you know what I mean? Like it's a pain. I don't know where I would put the Tango. I don't think it's, I don't know. Is it in maybe not legit tricks only? It's one of those three.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm the same way. I think yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I want to say that it probably belongs, I don't know. I don't know. This is very hard. It's definitely not garbage, that's for sure. I don't even know if it's tricks only. I think it's the tricks only opening if you're like an international master, probably. But I don't think it. Yes. Sorry. I forgot. But
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I feel like if you're like a FIDE master, international master, even a lower rank grandmaster, there it is kind of a trick. So you try to play for move orders and transpose into other opening setups. But I feel like at the intermediate level, it's like it's either legit or maybe not. I think I don't know. Let's
put it bottom tier legit. So let's put it in legit,
okay.
but then we'll move it.
Okay,
we'll
fair
move
enough.
it around.
Okay, all right. So next, of course, we have the accelerated. And welcome back, everybody. We are back again. I was enjoying that VOD. Sorry, you guys. Corson will be pleased indeed. Let me put some music on as well. There we go. All right, you guys, we are back. We are going to be playing Title Tuesday starting in approximately 18 minutes. So that's what we're going to be doing. Big shout out to all the people who resubbed while I was away. Thank you so much. MS Masco for the Prime, HD FJ HTT for the Prime, Niche 1738. Thank you so much to Niche. Thank you to Lobotomist Rex for the Prime, B-Bitch for the Prime, and ED00 for the Prime. Thank you Kazamania for the 14, Jake Mall for the 3, Classical Chess Sucks for the 16, Madbits for the 4, Swinny G for the 19. They do Cruncheroo for the 2 months as well. Thank you so much to Cruncheroo. All right. Thank you so much to D1 for the 30. So we're going to be playing Title Tuesday starting about 15 minutes. Until then, I think I'm going to do some puzzles and just relax, talk to you guys. I did not actually take a nap. No, unfortunately, I wasn't able to, but that's how it goes sometimes. So it is what it is. All right, so let's do some puzzles. I'm just going to do survival probably until we begin, and let's do some survival. Rings were fun. Are they on your YouTube? Yes, that is a tier list. It was on my YouTube. And yeah, all right, what do we have here? Even materials. You just win a knight, just takes. Checkmate. Kings are mirroring. Should be an ice skater with rookie 1 here. You go rookie 1. Things are just a Prosciutone 06 for the Prime. They Kino World Championship for the 37 months. Did you win the morning? No, I did not, unfortunately, win in the morning Title Tuesday. But yeah, I played Title Tuesday to start the stream, like every Tuesday stream. And that's that. Okay, so it's check, and it should be mate in 2. So let's go check and mate. Takes. Classic ice skater. King is stuck on the back rank. Take. There we go. All right, now there's queen h4. Clean checkmate here. King can't go anywhere. Queen d2. Checkmate with the pawn and the queen. King has no escape squares. Should be check. You have a battery here, so you take with check, and you go queen h. Oh, it doesn't make me play the last move. All right, so here there's check, and then mate with the queen and the pawn. Check, and then checkmate with the queen pawn. GG's. All right, here we have queen f7. Collect the rook, and of course it's another ice skater. King is stuck behind the 2 pawns. All right, here you go check, and then rook takes, and it's mate. King has no squares again. We are live. When do I do 24-hour stream? That I don't know about, honestly. It's been a very long time. I think I did a 24-hour stream in 2021, if I remember correctly. Now here you're down a rook and a bishop, but the king is a little bit weak, so I think if you go here, king simply has no squares. Checkmate. Go check, check. Now with the pawn and the knight, the king is basically ice skated once again. King has no squares. Why is it called an ice skater? Because Felix Longel, also known as XQC, a famous streamer on Twitch, he called the back rank checkmate an ice skater, and ever since we used the terms of the legend himself, the great warlord. So I think you take, and then you're hitting the king and the rook, and it's just winning. I'm just rook e8. Probably h2 is winning here, because you're going to make a queen. So you go here, you take, and now you block the diagonal with e4. Pawns cut off the bishop, and then you make a queen next move. So you just push, pawn guards a pawn, then you make a queen because the bishop can't cover this diagonal. Should be check. You go check, and as you see, the king and the rook don't do anything. You just take, and it's just game over. 51st win today. We'll see if I win today. I mean, Title Tuesday has become an incredibly strong event. Every single one is very, very hard to win. So I don't win by the clip that I once did, or at the rate that I once did. Now here you're down a lot of material, so you go check, check, and then the king is simply stuck here. You cover the critical squares. King can't move anywhere. You just take. Okay, here it's probably check with the classic pyramid of Giza, I assume. And you're also hitting the rook on h7, so it's also a classic 90-degree right triangle as well. I assume you take with a fork, and I don't know if you take the rook or not, but it looks correct. So after takes, you have check, winning the rook on b7. So I assume you take it, you just scoot up. Okay, that's good. Here you take, and now the king and the rook are stuck in the corner. King has no squares. So here should be check, f6 check, fossil, winning the queen on e8, and now you win the queen. How long have I played chess for? Far too long. Okay, what do we have? Rook f2. Probably it's like knight g4 if I had to guess, just because you want to attack the rook and the pawn. So I assume this is correct. I assume you take, check here, and then eat the rook in the corner. It looks pretty good. Check, eat the rook in the corner, then you have a bishop and a knight versus one lone knight. So you take, and that's good. Takes, probably you take the bishop, I guess, and then you check and win the rook. Probably looks correct. Okay, here you just take, and you go bishop c5, and you collect the queen on this diagonal. Probably check, and now it's a classic smothered checkmate. King is simply stuck in the corner here, no squares. And you just take on h3. King has no squares again, it's just stuck. Can I post this on YouTube? I could. Now I think queen g3 is mate in 1. Queen guards knight, checks the king. King has no squares, and that's GG. Okay, what do we have here? This should be checkmate in 4. You go check here, and then queen e1 mate with the bishop and the queen. 1 2 3. You go here, bishop covers the queen. King simply has no squares that it can go to. Thank you so much to TJ for the prime. They had cantrips for the tier 1 as well. Thank you so much to cantrips. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, what do we have? There's check, knight covers. Now you check and you eat the queen, and it's game over. Queen and the knight work together. Game over. White's up a pawn here. King's a little bit loose in the corner, so I assume you go here, and I think you go, if you check, the king comes up, so you go here. Otherwise you would mate, so he checks, so you take. Now I think you check, block, takes, and you run the king over, eat the pawn, and you win the king and pawn endgame. You go here, takes, not e4 because the king e2, but you go here, you keep the king in front of the pawn. Should be checkmate in 1. Probably rook takes f2 is good here because you can just block with the classic fossil, and you win the queen in the corner. Rook d8's no good. Probably you go rook takes e6 just to win a pawn. You have rook d8 check here to win the bishop. It looks pretty good. Rook e7 not quite as good, so I assume you check, and that's good. Okay, now here an opening position. Probably takes knight g5 with the fossil. You win the bishop on g4, and it looks really, really good. So let's take, check, take the bishop. I'm guessing you give up the queen because you win the knight, and with these knights all forking all over the board, it's very, very good for white. You trade, you go check here with the rook, creating a bit of a kebab and some confusion here, because if black takes the rook, then you win the queen because the rook is guarding. So you go check, and now when he moves up, you go check, and after g6 you go queen e7 checkmate. King has no squares. That's GG. You take, and good enough. All right, what is the meaning of the term fossil? The meaning of the term fossil is you create a fossil. Now, whoa, what's going on here? So white is about to queen, so if you push the pawn, white makes a queen with check and wins the game. So must be here, and I'm guessing you go c2 and king b1. Guess you go there. That's good. Okay, so here there are a couple possibilities, but I think it's just check, takes, rook and the pawn, and now you go bishop here. bishop here, make a queen, and end the game very, very conveniently. So we go here, check, make a queen. That's good. Now there's knight d5 here, which is a pretty good move. If rook e4, there's rook d5. Knight f6 takes. You simply have a rook for a knight, so it's pretty good. So you can just go check and take the knight. What is a fossil? A fossil is, you know, something that you discover in the ground. So a fossil is a discovery. So when you discover something on the board of chess, it's like when you discover a fossil in the ground. Okay, so I think you go check, and now you have bishop g4 attacking the queen. If he takes, it's mate. You don't move the queen, you just lose the queen. So this is good. So you just take the queen, or do you move the rook? Wait, you can move the rook here, but then white has rook f1, I guess. So probably you just take. Yeah, you just take and take. Check, probably check and then takes. Mate. No, you actually have a lolly. You go check here, queen c6. You guard the pawn and you mate in one. Check, and here you guard this pawn and you lolly on b7. So this is good. So you can take, I guess, and now you play d5, creating a fossil here because you discover the rook in the ground, the dinosaur bones in the ground with d5. But at the same time, you discover the rook, but if he takes the queen, he loses his queen. So you're discovering stuff in the process. This is what a fossil is. You're discovering the dinosaur in the ground. So you go here, and now you take because everything's under attack. And I think you take because you get a queen here. You take, and that's good enough. Did you know you can play these puzzles against Stockfish 15.1? No, I did not know that. Now I assume you go here, and I think you take because you're trying to make a checkmate on the back rank, but you're also attacking the rook on f7, so white can't stop everything without losing materials. I assume you go check, and now you go here and you create a classic ladder checkmate. You go here with the ladder, no rook e6 because the pawn covers, although he does have rook e7. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe here you go rook here first, because then if he goes rook e7, you go check, block, and then rook h1 to win the rook on e1. And if he goes king g1, then you scoot over, and then when he goes here, the king's on the wrong square, so he can't go back. So it's here, check, check, and win the rook. Very good. I think there's a steal for the 7 and EDM blows for the 8 months. Thanks so much to steal and EDM. I assume e3 is correct, just going for the kill. And now probably e2, you keep pushing p and make a new queen at the end of the board. Just sidestep and just take the queen. Probably king f2 is right, or is it f4 tricky? Go f4 rook a1. That looks like a draw. F4 rook a1 king g3. Maybe not so clear. If you go king f2, king f2 looks kind of right, but it also looks kind of wrong. I think it's actually f4, and then you go king here, and then f3 f2. Yeah, that's good. And now you just checkmate in Uno because the knight checks the king and the queen guards the bishop. Yeah, queen guards the bishop. Game over. 49, don't jinx it. Yeah, now here it's probably check, block, check. So it's check, check, and now you tickle with this check, attacking the king. Can't take with the queen because then you capture the king. If he takes with the king, then you lose the queen. And when you take with the pawn, I have check and I win the game. Probably it's rook f1 or it's queen d1. This is not obvious. Wait, this is actually not obvious at all. So wait, if you go check here, check king f2, there's no instant win there, but I think it's something like rook d8. I think it's check, check, and then rook d8 to claim the lane for the rook. It is. And now I think you go check, king up, and then rook d3, and you collect materials. So check and rook d3. Now you check and you win more materials. Now here there are problems on the dark squares for black. c7 and d6. You can play bishop f4, bishop d4. f4 doesn't look right. Bishop d4, queen b8 looks right, but I don't see the continuation. But if you don't do that, if you count the pawns here, black is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, white is 1 2 3 4 5 6, so white's have a pawn. Magus is online. Yes, he's going to be playing Title Tuesday. I'm aware of that. Thank you. No, maybe it's actually queen a4 and then you threaten bishop f4 because the queen guards. Yeah, I think it's actually queen a4, and now you have bishop f4 because the queen guards it. Okay, it's check, so it's white's move here. This isn't a video. Yeah, we're live. You go here, king b2, and just take. Simply up materials. Queen g1. I think you go bishop g2, threatening mate in 1. Now there's queen e1, queen b4. You have to come up with some checks here on dark squares against the light square king. This is not obvious actually, but I think it's here. And now you go rook f1, threaten the checkmate, and the king is stuck. Also, the queen covers a square, so you can't check and come back to e4. So I think this just wins. And now you go here, and it's mate in one because of the right triangle. Takes, and here, oh, that's good. Sunshine is pretty, yeah, it's a little bit on me, a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. So I'll do one more and then we'll stop for now. There's knight f5, there's also check, there's also knight c2. What are the moves? There's sunray on your face. I'm aware of the sunray, you guys. Sorry. What can I do about it? Knight f5 is no, I think you go check and then you go here to stop the knight f6 move, and then you just eat the rook in the corner. That's good. Check here, or queen, or no, you go check, and then rook e6 is mate because the bishop holds the rook, and the bishop holds the square, and the pawn holds the other retreating square, so the king got stuck. Yeah. Now you can take the queen, but he takes your pawn. But I assume this is right. You just go here, takes, and then take the bishop, or you take it like this. This is also good. Knight d4 is a move. Knight g1 actually works. You take, and then you check, and then you come back and you stop the pawn, and you stop the juicer. That's good. All right, what's going on here? You are missing some pieces. I think I've actually seen this puzzle before. I think it's f4, or is it rook g5? I had this puzzle in one of the Puzzle Rush events, but I can't remember whether it was takes or f4. I think I might have played f4 and it was wrong. Although I also feel like I might have played rook g5 too. I don't know which one's right, so I'm gonna trust my instinct that I think it's f4, right? It's f4. It is. Okay, so my mind is correct. At least I remember the correct one. Anyway, you guys, we have a couple minutes left until Title Tuesday, so let me change the scene, and I'll take a very quick break, and we are gonna start in 3 minutes. So I'll be back in literally 60 seconds, if that.